Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Tea bags. Well, no, not tea bags. Tea bag pockets. As most of you know, I'm on the road for work every couple of weeks. So we're in a hotel. I take my bits and pieces to do. And I was in the kitchenette area where they've got the tea coffee making facilities, making coffee, because I don't drink tea. And looking at the tea bags and I went, oh, I reckon I could do something with that. So I sat down with the bits that I had and created this. Those of you that are in the Facebook group Playing with Paper and Glue that I'm a moderator of, you will have seen this because I put it up last week when I was away. And it is just the little tea bag pocket covered. I've got a little pocket in here and I've made another little pocket down here, and then I've got some little bits on the back. And I was so enthralled with it, I thought, going to do more of those. So I went and purchased tea. Got these little ones because I thought I liked the cover. Well, when I undid it, it wasn't those sorts of bags. So luckily I had grabbed another one from the hotel. That's what that one started as. But when I undid it, they were like that. So I don't know, maybe domesticated tea bags come in these. I'm not quite certain. But it was a completely different type of pocket, and I thought, so this is what I did with that one. Okay, and I've left the sides because I like these and I like the colour of that one. And you undo it, and here's the tea bag tag, which I now can't get out. Here we go. And there's your little journal card. It's got a little thumb hole here so that when you pop it in, the staple fits in the thumb hole and the whole thing closes over. So that's what I want to do today. A couple of different reasons I want to do these. I was so enthralled with these tea bags is one. And two, for those of you that know, I've started a coffee or Ko-fi shop, Ko-fi. I'll have the link below in the description box. So the little V beside where the title is, I'll have the description box. And in my Ko-fi shop, I've got packs of paper for sale, and I've got my vintage book pages for sale. But the vintage book papers are wrapped in my newspaper. I've got some newspapers from 1896. And so I've also got for sale full sheets of these, 3 full sheets to a pack. But the book pages pack are wrapped, the longer ones of these, in these, which is a complete column from the papers. And that's what I had with me to do this one. So we're going to use some of that. It's brittle, but it's not too hard to work with to do things like this. I probably wouldn't use them as a full page in my journals because it is 129 years old, something like that. 126 years old even. 7. The other one I've done, bear with me, is when I'm on my travels, I like to take photos. I've always done this. Close-up photos of different things that interest me. And in one of the towns we go to, Warrnambool, they have beautiful, beautiful limestoney walls everywhere. And I mean everywhere. They're just cut out and then it dips down and there's businesses underneath. And I love to go over and take photos of these walls. So this is one of the close-up photos that I've got of those walls. So here's another one that actually had things growing on it. And this is an old pub in a place called Croydon. And I love taking these photos. And I quite often use them as backgrounds. But I wanted to use that one because I've actually popped this up in the Ko-fi shop as a freebie. So I will continue to do my photos and things as freebies in there. But this one is up in the Ko-fi shop at the moment as a freebie for you to print out. It's just in JPEG and you can just print it straight out on your printer. This is on copy paper and this is the colours that you get with it. I just love them. They make such wonderful backgrounds. So that's the other reason we're using that sheet, because that one is up at the moment as a freebie on my Ko-fi page, and you can follow the links. It'll just take you straight through to my page. Go to shop in there. You'll see my pages packs and you will see this written down as free. Go and grab one. They're just great. Okay, so starting, we're going to do well, I'm thinking this is a standard tea bag, the one that was in the hotel. This is a hotel tea bag. So they just come like this. I didn't undo it because I wanted to show you. I want to undo it very carefully so I get that rugged look. I don't mind if it tears a bit, and I didn't want to trim these sections off, and I also didn't want to play with the colour. So when I tear it like that, see how we've got all these? And I loved these. There's my tea bag, and I will use that tag in something as well. Or I'll have friends around that drink tea. Or it'll go into tea dyeing more pages. I've got a pack at the moment I'm working on of tea dyed pages. Right, so here's our tea bag. Yes, it's a little bit wonky, but it is what it is. I could go through and find ones that are not wonky, but I'm not overly concerned. What I want to do is use one of these. Now I need to trim them down just a little bit. So you'll see I need to trim off a little bit. And I want it starting at that houses and land area. I love these. They tear beautifully, either with a ruler or by hand. Because of the paper that's being used on it, they'll tear fairly straight. So I'm going to start down here. And I can see where I want to tear it to. So it's going to need to be torn about there. Okay, what I'm going to do with it is fold it around it first of all. Work out where I need to fold. Sitting that there. This one is a very wonky tea bag. But they're mass made, so what else can we expect, really? Taking that down a little bit further. Up a little bit if I have to, because I can always ink this and make that pocket just a little bit higher. I love reading the things that are in these papers. So that's that bit. This one's going to come over. So if I've started with the top of my column here, hang on a moment, I'll show you something. If I start here, right, I'm upside down, and all my printing will be upside down. So always start down here and work your way up. That way, that'll be up the right way. That one will be up the right way. It's only this bit that'll be upside down. And if that concerns you, do what I've done with this one and just popped a few little ephemera pieces on it. Okay, so back to this. I know we're going about there. I'm going to straighten this up a little bit as I go, and we'll see how this fits as I go. I'm going to go to there, to there. Yep, that'll work, because I can always trim off a little bit. And it's going to finish roundabout. That's where that goes. So you can see it's a little bit wonky. It is what it is with this one. But if you've got stuff going on with it, you won't notice that bit. So this one's going to finish at about here. Okay? And the easiest thing to do is to glue it on and then trim that top piece off. So I know it's going to finish about here. I'm going to tear it off about that way so that I can tear one side down. So that's going to sit there. That's going to sit there. You can see that it needs all of this off it. So it needs about 1/8 of an inch, I suppose. And I'm going to use my ruler for that and just sit there and take that bit off, if it'll work. It should. And I want it fairly rough. I don't want it perfect. The whole point of these is using the old paper and making it look well worn. We'll see how we go with it anyway. There we go. Like that. A bit more. There. Happy with that. Now, what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to ink it before I put it on, and I'm going to give it that burnt look So I set that there now. You can see that that edge has got that burnt look because it goes inside the sealing part of the tea bag. I can't ink it once it's on there. I love all these bits actually. Forward thinking, I could have taken a tiny little bit off this end and a tiny little bit off the other end. The bottom part we're not going to ink because I reckon we'll be trimming that further. Right, just like that. So this one's going to go on here. Like so. And that'll create that pocket a bit further up, but I'm happy with that. All right, so what I'm going to do to start with is ink. I'm not going to ink anything. I'm going to glue this. Now, when you're gluing something that's really, really old, you do need to be careful. And you also need to remember not to use your scrapers too much, okay? Because it will tear it. Okay. That's the right way up. So just very carefully wipe it along. Don't go like a bull at a gate, because all you'll end up with is torn. You can glue them back down, but my word, it'll take you some time. You just need to be a little bit gentle. And if you're anything like me, gentle is not in our vocabulary. So just take your time with it. Don't rub backwards and forwards. Okay, set that there. Move that one back out because I do not want the sticky of that. Make sure I'm up the right way. Where's that fold? Right there. So I'm just going to match that up to the fold. Like so. Give it a push. Keep pushing as I go. I'm doing it with a glue stick so that I've got time to maneuver it around if I need to. All right, like that. So what I'm going to do is with my scraper, I'm just doing this side because it gives it that protection from the actual old paper. Now this one, I'm just going to push down. Okay. Do need to get that off there though, don't I? Beforehand, so I'll just tear that bit off now before that glues onto everything. Again, look, if you wanted to, by all means, cut it with your scissors, use your ruler on it, anything like that. If you're concerned about using one of these, get a cloth or some paper towel and do it with that one. Right, so here's our little pocket so far, but it's still white. It's still white, so we want to change that. And the easiest way to change that is to get some bits. Look, that'll fit in there. That will fit in there beautifully. And that will need trimming just a little bit up there. Let's find that. Just to straighten it up a little bit. It's where I've used it for something else. Now this is going to tuck in here. Make sure it's a little bit smaller so that it will actually tuck in there. That one can be inked. Just careful when you're inking as well. There's such an easy little thing to play with, and I love them. And otherwise, look, there's something that would have been chucked away, maybe. Maybe you're already using them and making beautiful things. I'd love to see what you've done with them. By all means, the best way to show me is to go on to Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group if you're not already a member. Come join us. There are a few questions you'll need to answer, of course, to join. We're a fun group, and that way you can show me all your lovely tea bag pockets. Tea bag pockets. Yeah, tea sleeve pockets maybe. Okay, and then I've got this one. So I can do the same pages. I can do a different page. We'll just do the same for now, just to keep this running. Let's have a look. I love all these. Love them, love them, love them. There's so many wonderful things to read on them. Might go up one, so I've got a full line, finishing it. And these I love to stamp on. They're such a gorgeous colour. Right, that needs a little bit taken off it. And I'm going to have to trim that to get that nicely down. Just so it fits in there. Alright, this side will need trimming, of course. So it's going to go to about that one. I think we'll do it. Yep. I've left a little gap here, and I leave that deliberately, just so it doesn't bulk it up when you're actually using it, when you're opening and closing it, okay? There we go, got that one. Right, we'll ink around that one. And what I'm going to do while I've got the ink out is ink that little seam, I was going to say, that little fold, the inside of that fold, so that it still just has that darker look, doesn't bring the eyes too much to a white edge that's in there. Just fold him back, run your ink over like so. So see how it's now got a little bit of brown? So now when I stick this on, it doesn't stand out as much that there's a gap there, okay? So we'll ink this one. Now, do watch when you're inking them up, not inking, gluing. Try and use as many clean pages as you can, because it is very hard to get off these if it's been sitting on glue while you're doing it, okay? It's very fragile. All right, here we go. So I'm going up the top. Take me down there, so you can see it's got just a little bit of a gap, but that's enough for it to be able to fold. All right, just gently push it down. I can't find my cloth here. I know I've got one here somewhere, but I can't find it. How unusual, Kylie. All right, so there's our basic little one done. I want that bit inked more. Maybe I didn't ink that bit. And I just want that burnt edge. I don't want too much ink running up the paper, just so that it stands out like so. Right, now what I want to do with this is decorate it. I love the little photos. So the photos I'm actually using on this one are from Witchcraft Do You Do, and they've put out one called Vintage People Set 2. Love these. Love these, love these, love these. And they will fit in here beautifully. So I'm just going to I'll pick her, I think. And at this stage, I'm just going to cut the full thing out. And then I can work out if I need to trim her frame off her. Okay? So, depending on the size that she's going to be, the photo I used in my original one was one that I had sitting in my kit when I was away. So, I don't know where I got it from. It was a digital, but I'm sorry, I don't know where I got it from. Right, so let's have a look at you. She will fit in there, so she doesn't need her frame taken off her. So let's just grunge that up a little bit. I just want to actually, just a scraper, want it to look a bit worn. There's one edge. One here. And down here, just a loose, just to give it that fluffy edge, okay? So she's got a couple of tears in her. And now I've got that fluffy edge, like so. Ink around that so that it looks worn. And now she's like that. Doesn't take much. So now when she goes on, she's got even more age to her, okay? Now, if I sit her on like that, see how she's over this, and I turn it over and it's plain white up here. That's fine. For me, it's not. So what I tend to do is I've got my brushed corduroy here, a little bit of ink down the bottom, and I'll just literally brush that on so that it's a bit patchy, so that when it's on here now, it's like that. So it's got that dirt and dark look about it as well. I'm going to ink with my darker ink, which is Gathered Twigs, again, down here, just to give it that dirty look. Okay, it's been in lots of people's fingers and all the rest. Now, the other thing I like to do with it is over here, I've got, now the Vintage People set 2, as I said, from Witchcraft Do You Do. Don't forget, down the description box as well for that, there will be a code for Witchcraft Do You Do, and if you use my code, you'll get 15% off any of their digitals. So, just letting you know that one, in case you missed my last video. Sorry. Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. Right, so in my numbers and all the rest, what I want is a little number that's going to go up here. So it looks like a serial number, something like that would have been on the photo originally. This one works. This one is, again, one from Witchcraft Do You Do. It's one of their own brand ones. But it's nice and long so that you can use all of it, which would work for this. It's one of my favourite ones. Or I'll quite often knock out that last bit if I just need a smaller section. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to use the whole lot on that, which is a little bit larger. So I've got a long block there. Yep. And I'll use a darker colour. How about Acorn? Need a mid blue, I think. And I'm just going to stamp that up there like so. Like that. Take that one back off and sit you over here. Right. Make sure that that's dry. Almost. So now when she goes on here, like so, when you lift it up, you've got that. It's just a little point that can go on there as such. What I'm going to do is get my pencil, make a mark there, make a mark there, because I don't want to go above that part. This is the bit that I want to glue on, and I don't want to go above that part, okay? So I'm going to use my real glue, you know what I mean. I'm going to use this glue this time, and just double check that that's working. Yep, there it is. Lovely. So I'm just going to give that one a wobble a little bit further down. Right, now I can ink all of this. Ink. Oh, I keep saying that word. I'm gluing. I'm not inking, I'm gluing. Till I've just come home from work. Oh dear, Kylie. Maybe I needed coffee more than I needed hot chocolate. Nope, I have a rule. No coffee after 5 o'clock. Right. There we go. Check that. Beautiful. Lovely. How easy was that? So I've got a pocket back here. Let's use, you can see I've been into these for other things. Let's use, does she fit? She will. I love this little girl. So let's use this little girl. Now, the other thing you can do with the, oh, it's not on those, that's all right. Thinking ahead of myself. So she should, she does, she fits beautifully. Okay, what we're going to do with her is, again, just give a little bit of colour. Doesn't need much. If you remember early enough, you can tea dye the back of this sheet and have all of them ready to go. If you're like me and you just work as you go, you can use your inks. So you can see that that's all mottled and all the rest. But I mainly want it so that it looks a little bit aged. That's all. If you want some real age to it, give it a little bit of coffee drops on there, whether they're a stamp or whether it's actually coffee that you've splattered on there, something like that. And again, now they'll be in this one. Right, in my script and postage one, I've got these. These are, oh, I think I used him the other day, didn't I? Right, these are signatures. These came, I think that's these. Nope. They must have been on the Witchcraft Do You Do original pack as well. But what I like the signatures for is I like to have the signatures on the back of photos. So that, now, just trying to get that back in. We'll use that one. How's that? It's like, if I haven't got a cabinet card for it to go on, it's like the photographer's mark. Well, that, in my mind, it's the photographer's mark. So I'm just going to use a really light one for this. So I'll use Tree Branch in the, what is it, Archival. Give that a good ink. Okay, so now I've got the photographer's mark on the other side. Put that one back in there. So she will very nicely go in there. Right, so I want to have another little one in here. Again, I've got my little bits of digitals. Most of these, again, are Witchcraft Do You Do. And no, this is not a design team project for Witchcraft Do You Do. It's just that I use a lot of their products. I love them. That's more of my hot chocolate, sorry. Right, and I usually have a pile of them pre-cut out. And these sorts of ones make great pockets. Like so. And if you just glue those sections, I'll just sit you there. Go that one. Right, just takes out that white border around it. I will glue the 3 corners. Sorry if I hit the tripod there. I've got to stop and breathe. Right. And down. That one can go there. It depends on how much of your newspaper or whatever you're using, any of your paper that you want to see. So now I've got a little pocket down here as well. So if I find, say, a little ticket, whoops, sorry, my tickets are sitting up there. So I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little. So I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little in that one. And these are just little tickets from everywhere. Some of them are old scrapbook papers. Some of them are just, you know, little bits of paper. And I just want something little in that one. And these are just little ti all sorts of things. Right, so there's a couple of tickets. There she is. She would look lovely with a little bit of lace around there and all the rest. And you can keep decorating the back. But I want to go on to the next one while I've still got a little bit of time. Because right now we've taken 30 minutes. All right, woohoo, Kylie. All right, I'll set those ones back over to there because I don't need those ones now. And we'll grab our other one. This one. Now, the other thing I found with these is this tea bag is sitting right up the top. And yes, you can tear it, but I actually wanted a straight cut through there. So just, if you go slow enough, you'll feel when you're actually getting to that tea bag. This one's pretty good. The other one, I had the tea bag way up the top. All right, so here's my tea bag. Here's my little doobie, my little tab. This tea smells divine, by the way. I don't necessarily drink tea. I used to. I don't drink tea anymore, but this one, smell that. It's nice, isn't it? Right, the other thing I wanted to do with this one, and I quite like that on its own, but it's a little bit shiny. Two reasons I don't want shiny. I don't want shiny down there because I don't work in shiny. And the other thing is glue. Most glues don't like shiny. So I've just got a sanding block here. And all I'm going to do is just take a little bit of that shine out and distress it up a little bit. So I'm just on my glue book. Don't do it on your glass mats or anything else like that. Okay, so we're just going to take that back. Give this edge a nice distressed edge. Same on the other side. You could leave it like that. You wouldn't even need to put a background on it, because once this is distressed, it's just beautiful. I don't even know what brand they are. Queen Victoria. Oh, well, it says that there. Right. And I don't know whether all of them are like it or what it is, but yeah, this one just had tea bags like that. So on its own, that is now gorgeous. And the best thing about it, look, you ready? It's silver on the inside. So, move that one over. Just wipe that on my jeans again, because when I'm sanding, my jeans work a treat for that. Right, so this time, as I said before, I want to use one of my backgrounds. So here's the rest of my background from that sheet. Have another quick sniff of that tea. So what I want with this one, I prefer my smaller ruler, it's easier. So I want to go between these. Now this one's wider on this side than that side. And I will probably end up, because I want to put some lace down the side. So if I just go 2 inches and take it from there, then I can have my lace going down there, can't I? So I want a 2-inch wide strip. And turn that over. Two inches from there. If you've got a trimmer, all the better. It'll make it quicker. Going to that one. Finding what I did with my marks. One there, one there. Right. There we go. Look at my strip. Yummo. Like this end. Whether I want that at the top or the bottom, I'm not quite certain at this stage. So I'm going to tear off that bit. Turn that around there. Tear that bit off. And I'll tear that bit off just while I'm working out which way I'm going to go. Right. I'm just looking to see what I want where. I think I like that as my top section. So again, because this is non-directional, I don't have to worry about where things are going to, what's going to be, you know, upside down or anything else. But what it does mean, if I want this at my top section, I'm going to have to, because I've still got to start the other side. All right, I still need to start here so that I can work my way around. And if I do that, I'm not going to get all that wonderful bit at the bottom. So I want to make just lining that up. Now pop it on your mat if you've got a mat. And that's about how much I want for my thing. You're going to need to take it to along this. Okay. Going to go straight. Straight-ish. I can always redo it. And now I'm going to turn it over and go back up that way. Yes, if I'd started with my darker colours up here, it would have been easier because I could have just glued as I went. But because I want this section as my flap, I need to know where to cut this bit off. Make sense? But this is going to sit in here like that. This bit's going to be torn off. That's going to sit there. That bit's going to go down to about there. So that I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this bit on first, line that up, and I need to line it up to this side, remember, because there's 3 or 4 little grooves and only a couple there. I'm just going to line that up to that, line that up to that. Look, you could run this all the way through a scoring board if you wanted to. It's up to you, your choice. If you feel more comfortable with a scoring board, then by all means do that, but that'll work. So I'm going to glue this section. Now, as I said before, I am concerned with how well glue will stick to this. So the other day when I did it, I used my double-sided tape. Okay, just to be on the safe side. Now I'm going to go down there because that's the bit that I want close to that one. That's that, that's that, that's that. Yep. And I'm going to run just inside this one because I'm my 2 inches. Your tea bag might not be the same, and I honestly can't remember the other one being like it. So this again is just luck of the draw with the tea bags that you get. Some are going to be perfect, some not quite so much. It's a matter of working around that perfection in both yourself and the tea bags. The other thing I want to do is my top one, I'm going to use a wider one, and I'll explain why in just a second. Right, so that's all that. I'm then going to use my normal glue on the inside of it for this side, which is this one. Again, I'm steering clear of my glue stick completely with this sleeve because it's so shiny. I don't want to run the risk of it all just falling off, so I'm just steering clear of my glue stick completely. That's just my personal preference. It's up to you which way you want to go. So take off your double-sided tape. And I've just had a thought. I've just had a thought. That one's going to go in there, like so. And then down there with that, because I wanted the inside covered. So, I'm going to go there. So I've gone back to where I had my flap. And I'm just going to bend it the other way so that I can see where I need to bend it again. Right. That's my flap. The inside of my flap, that's that one. Okay? That's where that one's going to go, right there. That's better, Kylie. Knew I was missing a step when I was doing it, so sitting that there, that there. That's that one, that's that one. Lined up with that. And this one's going to come straight up. That looks better, Kylie. It's crooked. I'm having a doozy tonight. All right, trim that off. That's trimmed off. Go in here. Open it out. This will fit in. Do you know what I found the other night? I've been using these punches for 15 years. See that? See that? That is my halfway mark. So if I slide that into there with my paper going to that arrow and to that arrow, as long as I've got the same amount both sides, which I'll move over, and I punch that, I've then got my half circle. That's a halfway mark. Well, I was excited by it anyway, okay? Just letting you know. So, how am I going for time? Pretty good. Right, now we can attach this one up here. That'll just go down with a glue stick, and that will go there like that. That's what I wanted. Right, I'm going to glue stick that one. Just this bit. Fold him over. Like so. Put my little scraper. Alright, this one's going to come up like that. Again, I'm going to use my double-sided tape. Don't need the wide one this time because I used the wide one to cover where this was going. If I'd used that narrow one, there might not have been anything in here. So that's why I used the wide one. So I said it'd make sense later on. Now, if you want, you can double-sided tape that. Double-sided tape, you know what I mean. You can do that one instead if you wish. It's up to you which way you want to go. Like that. You can see I've given up cutting now. See now, on the back, this looks fairly even. Oh, there we go. They don't know. Alright, a little bit of normal glue as well. This is a silver in. Do you remember when we used to do shrinky dinks with chip packets and stuff like that? I wonder, with the silver inside this, if it's like the old chip packets. Or is that the new chip packets are like that and we can't do it with them? I don't know. I don't know. Right. I've got glue there. Give them a good push. Once I've usually got my first one, then I'm right. Double-sided tape means that it's not going to go anywhere. which can be a hindrance or a help. Right, there we go. That bit needs trimming a little bit, just a little bit. Like so, and I'll just put a bit of ink down where I've taken that. There's that one. Again, roll this back, put a little bit of ink in there just to cover, because you don't want it all the way down because it'll bulk it up, okay? We're just going to get rid of that white, like so. I love the silver. You could cover the silver up as well if you like, but I quite liked the silver. That's my little bag. What I want to do is pop some lace down the sides. So I've got a little bit of lace here that's about the width of these. So we'll need to go into our fabric glue. That's not opening. There we go. Move that out of the way, Kylie. There it is. Come on. Come on. Now this is only a thin lace, so I don't want too much on it. I better shut that. I did that the other night and the whole thing went everywhere. I didn't shut it. So down here, just lightly push it on. And I can turn it over and trim this side, like so. Do the same with the other side. Now I've only done these on the front side because I'm still debating about whether it goes in as a separate item that goes into a pocket, so it's a pocket in a pocket, or I make it into an actual pocket. Does that make sense? So a pocket as a pocket. I'll show you what I mean. Grab my lace again. Just gently go down there. Now you can't really see that they were slightly off-centered either. All right. So what I can do now is attach that into my journal, adhere down here and adhere down here and across here, and then I've made a pocket behind this pocket. That's why I said I haven't decorated the back of these ones, because I wasn't quite certain what I wanted to do. What I do want to do to decorate this one, there's two things I want to do. I want to put a butterfly on here. Love these butterflies. These are just some old scrapbook paper that I've had forever, that I finally started cutting the butterflies out of. And I think I had 4 or 5, 6 sheets of it, quite a bit. And so now I'm just merrily cutting my way through these butterflies to use them up. But it does mean I've got quite a few to use, so I'm using them. Just take a little bit of that white out, like so. Sorry, that is my tablet that's sitting beside me going mental. Right, that's going to go like that. I want a little bit of cloth behind my butterfly. Let's have a look. I just wanted it so it's sitting there. That'll do. So I'm going to lift my butterfly up. I can see where my cloth is, so I'm going to actually put a little bit of double-sided tape to hold that cloth down. Lift that up, run that through. That would be one of my messenger groups. Lift that up. It's about there, wasn't it? A little bit out the top, a little bit out the side. Yep, happy with that. And that's going to go on. So see where my wings have their little edges? What I want to do is pop my butterfly so that those wings finish just there. Okay? Just like so. So that this is hanging down in front of the pocket. So I use a little bit of fabric glue again. But just on the top part of the wings. Okay. Make sure I get that in there. Oh, that's messy. Oh, that's messy. Set that on there. Lift this one up. Turning it over. I'm going to go sideways because I find that it's easier sideways, and I'll use my grid, which will be there and there, I'd say, like that. Probably didn't need to go there. Oh, I didn't need to go there, did I? I'll get my sticky removal on that one in a moment. So there's my butterfly. So this one hangs lower than the other one that I did, and I put something down there. So this one I'm going to pop something up there. So I'm just going to grab my sticky remover before that's completely dry, and that'll just rub that off like so. Do the other side, Kylie. Right, so there's no sticky on those ones now. And what I want to use is this, I think. Yeah, that is my journaling card. Wow, I'm having a real day, aren't I? Having a real day. So I just want a little piece of book paper or something like that, and I've got book paper everywhere. Oh, hang on. All right, these are my little scrappy bits. You're going to fit? Not quite. Might have to go to bigger ones. Might have to go to bigger ones. Oh. All right, which are just up here. Bear with me, and I'll just reach up here. There we go. There we go. That one should fit on. And there's nothing yucky there, so that's fine. So I'll glue that. Always watch. Always just double check. Glue stick. So I'm gluing this one to go onto the glue, onto the paper, because I can see easier where I need to go. Okay. Go in the widest bit. Down here. There we go. This one I'd say was from the 50s, so it's not that old. So I can use my spreader. Can't find the end. There it is. All right, now I can just trim around that. And guess what? Didn't go on straight. Alright, and since we're using butterflies, we're going to use a butterfly theme on top of this. I'll link around that one. No, not straight at all. Cool. Right, so I've given it a proper distressed look with this one, not just a burnt edge. Now, I've got butterfly sitting here, and I want that down there like that. And again, I want it, these are black, so I'm going to use grey. So, oh, the ink colours are coming out tonight, aren't they? My word, Kylie. All right, sitting that on straight, because I know my butterfly's straight on this one. That should be straight, a little bit over the edges. And it's gone down low, because my tag will be up here. Right, so that's that one. This will take a bit of cleaning up. Now, what did I do with my tag? Here's my tag, okay? Again, I want to just sand a little bit of that so that the glue, you could put it on the way it is, but again, I want to put some book paper on it, so I'm going to sand it up. I want to distress my edges because I want to see a little bit of those edges on the tag. It's only one side, because you won't really see the other side. You can do both sides if you want, but I'm only going to do one side because that's all I'm going to see. So I'll link around that, just to give it the same defined look. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll have to... Oh, hang up. Sorry about that. That was one of my tablets. Sorry. Dear Kylie. Right, I'll get back to that when I'm finished this. What I want... See, now it's thrown me for 6, hasn't it? Completely and utterly. So let's go back into these, into just my little scraps. Oh, I love these. Oh, I love using these. These Ready Reckoners, I think is what they're called. And from memory, he should fit beautifully. So I'm just going to chop that one off there. So I'd say they've been trying to reach me and I haven't answered, so they've rang me. Right. And I want it a little bit smaller, because I want it to fit in that border. So I'm going to go down there, take off that bit. You can see there's some good measuring going on here. Going to go down there. I can always take more off. No, happy with that bit. And we're going to need to go down there. Right, and to match my little tab from my tea bag, I'm just going to knock off those corners. None of them are going to be the same size. Right. Right. And that'll go on there like that and match, so that I've still then got all those little bits. But again, I'm going to use my real glue, because I'm not... Real glue, it's not the right word. My liquid glue, how's that? I'm going to use my liquid glue just to make sure that it's all going. I'm just making sure that that's all still filming, because I forgot to check that once that messenger call came in. All right, because I usually do that on my phone. I didn't know, and I film on my phone. Didn't know whether it might have affected it or not. There we go. Just like so. Now, what I want to do with this one is in the centre, pop that. I've got a border up here, and what I'm going to do with that border is staple it in the centre. I'm on an angle. You'll just have to trust me. Like that. And then what that will do is when you pop it in here, this will slide down and slide in. It should. Did the other day. Like that. Look at that. It fits in that half circle. Now, I don't know about you. You may have been doing that for ages. But I got really excited over that. Just saying. I want to pop something up here. I've got one of my little stamps. And as I said before, I like using these. So I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to use this one that says folio number. And let's face it, since we haven't gone this colour, let's go this colour this time. Fallen leaves, so it's a real dark colour. Stamp that. like so. It's not straight on there. Well, it's probably straighter than that, but that's how I just put it on. Right, and again, because this tears so beautifully, this newspaper, I'm just going to go round it and go exactly where I want to. Now, I can put a number on this one. Again, I can just grab those numbers. Look at that. I love that. But I think I might put a number. And what I've got in here are these tiny little numbers that I grabbed from close to my heart. That one looks more like a date. So we'll just grab another one. Here we go. That one. That are just these tiny little numbers, but they work so well. What they actually are the codes for the stamps. They're just the stamp codes. And so if I buy a new set of stamps, I will pull these off. Now, I want a different colour for that, so what I'm thinking I might actually do is use medieval blue, so it looks like a pen that it's been written in. Okay. So they're just a little thing. I just love them. You can't actually buy those little numbers as that, but if you ever buy close to my heart stamp sets, and I want that one sitting just up there, and we will be done. As I said before, the mix of products this time. So tea bags or tea sleeves, maybe that's what we can call them, tea sleeves. So we'll call it a tea sleeve pocket. We've used some Witchcraft Do You Do stuff, and we've used my background paper. But as I said before, if you want some, which is this one, go over to my Ko-fi shop and it's in there free as a download. So I hope you like it. I will add more as I go. You never know what I add. So how's that? Aren't they sweet? And they're just so cute and easy, and yeah, see, I've used it down here and haven't actually cut it off. So I hope you liked those. I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you make many and drink lots of tea. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.